How does an independent agent compete with billion dollar marketing budgets? The answer isn't in finding power words for your headline or taking a Facebook advertising course, although both of those things are awesome. But to truly compete with billion-dollar budgets, we have to think bigger. We have to start thinking about our marketing, not just in terms of individual independent agencies, but collaboratively as the independent channel. How can we, as the independent channel, improve our marketing efficiencies so we stop wasting money, amplify one of our key value propositions, expertise, and provide a world-class, yes, a world-class experience? Now, instead of me telling you how this magic is possible, I'm gonna turn it over to one of the best insurance marketers, independent insurance marketers that I've ever met.
All right, guys, so what are we doing today?
Woo, carrier meeting.
Geralda. Now, the footage that you're about to see is excerpts of a 30-minute presentation that Geralda gave to all of her carriers summarizing Zinc, her agency's annual performance. I'm not gonna show you every minute because I really wanna dig into some key parts with you, but you can listen to the entire unedited 30 minutes if you search for Be Atomic Airwaves on your favorite platform and click on episode 18 titled How a Seasoned Insurance Marketer Leads Carrier Meetings. Okay, let's go. How many times have you had the at-bat conversation? This applies to agents and carriers. Carriers saying all they need is more, and agents finding some sense of worth to their carriers through quoting volume.
So we were trying anything and everything, right? And although that was fun for me and interesting to see what was working or what wasn't, it's not an effective way to plan or to market anymore. And the reason for that is this stuff takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort to create the content, to build up a brand. So if you're just pumping in random carrier products that you guys want to hit on and want premium volume on, that's not really a sophisticated way to do it for me and from a marketing approach.
G-Money is completely uninterested in at-bats.
Yeah, and that shift in 2019, it looked visually bad in the beginning, but it actually ended up being a good thing. So if you guys look up there at this pipeline, now this is just for trucking, right? So if you look, the last time that I showed you guys this for trucking, it looked completely different, right? So we had less prospect, we had more marketing qualified, and we had less sales qualified last carrier meeting. So with this updated pipeline for 2019, our visitors were up, so that's good. That means our traffic on all of our pages was up. Our prospects went down because we became more targeted, right? Our marketing qualified went down, so that's because I became stricter with what behaviors identifies that this marketing prospect is ready to go to a salesperson and get a quote, right? So in previous months and years, I was saying they're ready now. I'm like, I grabbed you, I'm like, please, yes, take them. Well, our sales team was coming back and saying, hey, I'm fielding all these requests, but I'm coming out with less won opportunities. So we met with our sales team, we became a little bit stricter on what those behaviors are that would trigger that flow to sales opportunity. So less, because we were more strategic, and more won deals as a result. So this is one of those moments where if you're a carrier and you're looking at that, you're like, okay, what does that mean for me? That could mean for you less submissions, right? But more won opportunities. So my goal is not to get you guys as many submissions as possible because that makes no sense for our bandwidth or the way that we're using our resources. And it doesn't necessarily make any sense for you guys either. My goal is to figure out exactly who Acuity and Westfield wants and to find only that person online digitally.
Did you hear what she just said? She sent less submissions. less. But Zinc wrote more business.
Geralda, I love you.
What? So, hold on. This logic is wrong. It's actually better submissions equals more business. And here's why this matters. Here's why this is so important.
Us quoting, as you saw on that last slide, is not good. We are hemorrhaging cash to quote.
Right.
We need to quote less but write more. And I never used to be able to tell you that. I used to say it's important to us to have a high hit ratio. The reason we need a high hit ratio is because when I quote, I'm hemorrhaging money. And so we need to quote less and write more. So Geralda has to be much more focused if we're to turn a profit with marketing and with sales with the independent channel.
Right now, I'm speaking to all of the insurance marketers out there. Have you ever felt like you didn't really know what you were marketing? Or have you been told, just start with personal lines, and then you go home that night and you see this ridiculous ad for Mayhem, and you're like, oh,
Nope, I'm out.
it's not your fault. Great marketing is telling the story of how your business solves a real pain point, a real problem in someone else's life. And what makes an independent agency so difficult, so tough to market so often is that we're trying to solve 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 different problems. Either you have too many stories to tell, auto, home, life, health, rental, ATVs, boats, trucking, restaurants, contractors, subcontractors. Oh my gosh. Or you try to wrap everyone's story into one story, but your messaging becomes so watered down that nobody hears it. Insurance for everyone. Yeah. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Right now, I'm speaking to all of you agency owners and carriers out there. Stop doing this to your marketers. Interested prospects don't grow on trees. It takes intentionality and time. And it all starts with getting really focused, really intentional with that agent-carrier relationship. What product or products does your carrier have a commitment to excel at? And which one does your agency want to commit to? That magic fusion of expertise is going to provide a seed that a good marketer can grow.
And I know that this word, maybe it's been a little bit overused by us, but it's really important. I think we're not thinking about it the right way. So the reason why we absolutely have to design everything in a niche format, if you will, is because everything needs a brand, right? So I can't really infiltrate upon a marketplace with a product that I decide I want to work that day and hope for the best. Regardless of how awesome that piece of content is, how hard I worked, and how badly we want it, it needs a brand, it needs a presence, it needs SEO, it needs a ranking online, and it needs a personality. And that takes a lot of time, right? The good news is we have the brain and the tools to be able to make that happen, but it's gonna require marketing research, right? So I want to, before I do Ohio Mutual, right? They want us to invest in farms. They said, I want to partner with you, Geralda. I want to throw money at you for farms and let's kill this. Well, that is taking me a lot of market research because before I go back and say, yeah, let's do it, I want to make sure that that aligns with the marketplace and where we're at internally at Zinc, right? So market research is one. Brand development, I want to have the best website for Ohio farms or for truckers that there is, right? That fits our brand. That's, again, going to take time and money. And then data aggregation, which is what we were missing on before. For farms, for contractors, for truckers, we're not giving them enough time. If things aren't working, that's okay. Not all of these classes are a fit in 2020 for marketing digitally, and that's okay. But if we can show people why one of your products is not competitive in the digital marketplace, or how we can make it more competitive, that's a win for us, and then also a win for you guys. So we have to decide in this moment, do we understand that the best way to get you guys out there right now is be competitive digitally? And then do we all have the guts to really come together and collaborate in a much more specific and deliberate way on some of this stuff?
So now I've zeroed in on exactly who my target audience is, my target prospects, not just going after everyone. And I've developed that seed into a truly captivating story that's starting to really attract people. And they've just been told by our sales team that they have to wait days for a quote. Okay. We have got to make the quoting experience better. It is so frustrating to do all that work, to tee people up, to get them excited, to get them wanting something, only to make them slam the brakes and wait. Why can't we have expertise, relationships, and efficiency? For those of you agents and carriers out there, it's already happening.
So connectivity. It's not an if, it's a how, right? So Central Insurance and Acuity Insurance, thank you so much. Thank you so much for connecting me to the right people on your team. We're gonna have the first open API. Now it's gonna start with Pardot and with marketing, and it's eventually, hopefully, gonna lead us to complete connectivity with those two carriers. So what that looks like for trucking is, they've taken the time to speak with Rob and to speak with me and say, hey, how are you organizing your campaign? Great. Well, let's get that prospect to a quote faster, right? So when they click, I want a trucking quote, let's get them to a form, right? Where there's underwriting questions within that form that they're filling out that is automatically populated into our system and that can get a quote faster than ever, right? And then let's take that information that the prospect just filled in about that and let's flow it through to Zinc's database at Salesforce so that the salesperson has it in their fingertips. That connection takes days for us to make with most of my carriers, right? With Acuity and with Central, they're looking at how can we connect through workflows, right? So it started with them, hey Geralda, I'm gonna send you an automatic report every single Monday on the prospects that are bouncing, that are coming from your marketing and that are bouncing on our quote portal. So that was really interesting, and we thought, okay, well, how can we get a little bit more connectivity? So we got on the call with Salesforce, and we realized, hey, there's actually a really simple way to API connect our Pardot to the carrier. So I know that you guys are not the right people in the room to have that conversation, but I want to make sure that the right people in your companies really understand the opportunity that they have here.
Dudes, thank you for listening. I hope that you found this video at the least not boring and at the most thought-provoking. In either case, smack that subscribe button, drop a comment below, and hopefully I'll see you next Thursday.
So what we were doing in 18 is we were trying various things throughout the year, and we weren't collecting enough data because we weren't investing enough money, and we weren't giving things enough time. Now, from a carrier point of view, I completely understand why that was difficult for you guys to understand, right? I was calling you and I was saying, hey, this is some of the stuff I want to try, but you guys have to support me. Whether it's marketing dollars, internal resources so that you can help me send out mailers to people, whatever it is, I need your help. And a lot of you said, well, we don't know who to ask for. We don't know if that's possible. And I need to know how much premium I can expect if I give you this amount of money, right? And so that was a really difficult conversation, and it got sticky for us. And so we didn't get very far in that discussion in 18. In 19, I thought to myself, okay, I completely understand what the carriers need to see. So I'm going to turn 2019 into the year of aggregating enough data to prove to them that we know what we're doing and that this is how this stuff works. This is how long it takes. This is how much money it takes. And this is the kind of bandwidth that we need to launch a new program and make it work in marketing.
Hey, can I just add one thing there? It turns out carriers do not have the guts for marketing. We can change that, and we should change that. It's expensive, it takes time, and that means you have to be committed to a business plan. And that's hard, especially for the people in this room, that's hard when you're trying to report on goal and all that stuff, but marketing, and you're gonna hear from a lot of these agents coming up that they're marketers, and most cases, our experience is there's not someone on your side of the company side that can even take that call.
Right.
Because you're not really used to talking to marketers, you're talking about allocating advertising dollars, show me an ad in a paper or a flyer, and that's a different call. And now what we're finding is marketers are calling carriers as they were trained to be by many. There's associations that are saying, be marketers, and well, when you get into it, then what? Because the carriers aren't ready for marketers and this whole relationship. And so we have learned that asking agents to market is a really dangerous thing because carriers aren't ready for it. So this is a chance for carriers to learn this together and be effective together. It's really a beautiful thing.
So if you could please connect me to whoever those decision makers or departments are in Q1 of 2020, for the ones that I haven't already spoken to, that's going to be big for me. And then if you want to go to the next, so that's kind of why niches and why I keep using that word. Let me just move here. Acuity stepped it up. So yeah, ask yourself, have I tested enough with Zinc to identify a niche opportunity? So if you don't know if you have a niche for me or not, let's communicate about that. Let's get together on that. And it may be that, we start collaborating on local stuff first, right? Funeral homes, contractors, whatever. And we realize that we're starting to hit. And I'm saying, hey guys, it takes actually $3,000 a minimum of AdWords a month for us to be competitive, but things are starting to hit. Do you want to flip the switch with me and keep making this hot? If you say yes, then maybe there's a niche opportunity there, right? So then you'll get a lot more of my time, a lot more of my investment, and a lot more of my data. And then third, but definitely not least, because this is the future of our marketing at Zinc. So this is where everything is going, is programs. So programs are actually partnerships between my department and our carrier. Central is our first carrier program. I showed you guys a screenshot of insuranceforpetcarepros.com. That's doing awesome. We're killing it with that. And so the easiest way for me to describe what a program is it's more than a niche, right? Because our carrier is asking themselves, how can we make quote, issue, and bind seamless online for Zinc and for their customer? So that's a really sophisticated question, and for Central to already be on that and to be 6 months deep on that is huge. Next year and in 2020, 2021, I'm gonna have 4 or 5 programs. So right now, I'm already planning for the next 3 years of programs, right? So think, for example, Omeg Farms, that can be a potential program. We're gonna start investing as a niche that'll turn into a program. So that's another reason why I really need to connect with you guys and with the decision makers, is because there's a lot of carrier opportunity and a lot of juice here. If we can align our data and our APIs and figure out what's going to work for the digital customer, IFBC is awesome. I don't really do anything anymore, right? Sure, I figure out the content. Sure, I do the automation. If the customer does this, drip them here, take them to this salesperson, collect the data. But that's it. Once that stuff starts working, we're sleeping and we're writing policies, basically. So that's where the future of marketing is. And I really want you guys to think about programs. And then last but not least, we are launching a new newsletter internally for Zinc called The Lab. And that newsletter is going to go out to our customers, our prospects, but also to all of our carriers. And what's going to be really fun about me working on it is we're going to, for the niches that we're digging really deep on, so I'm using Social Studio, I'm doing hours of market research, I'm communicating with people, with truckers, with contractors, with whoever else. I want to start to talk about some of the data that we're seeing, and I want to talk about which carriers, right, some of those collaboration within marketing, how they're working out, right? So hey, I found out that, digital marketplace for funeral homes with Central, we tried this method and this is what happened. This is what I learned about the prospects. I learned that that contractors exist on Facebook, right? And that they love that spending AdWords in Facebook for that class has been really successful for us. So you're going to start to see a little bit more of that data through that newsletter, and it's going to give you guys an idea of the evolution of our marketing in partnership with you and how that's panning out. And yeah, if we already haven't had those meetings, please text me. That's the best way to get a hold of me, even for a meeting, is if you just text my personal number or email me.
The worst thing the industry ever did, and I'll say trustedchoice.com and Agency Nation, is they told agents to market. Didn't tell them how. Didn't tell them what to do, didn't tell them what to buy, didn't tell them what to expect, didn't tell them what to spend, didn't do any of that stuff. And so what we're finding is this is a new game. It pays off in spades, and get there early and get there often because it'll start to really build. We will go hard and local and get you all your goals this year, and I will gut myself inside and out to make sure that happens. We will develop niches that we will scale around. I will scale around a niche. If it's good for you and it's good for me and it's hitting, I will hire people, I will train people, I will do that. Programs we can co-invest in, and we can get ahead of the marketplace on those things. And you're right, the work that Central and Acuity is doing on this is just insane, and it is going to get favored because it's so easy and so fast, so thank you. I'll wrap up on me before we pivot here, which would be perpetuation.
Yep, I'm getting there.
Oh.
Up. Where you at?
I apologize. So go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Yeah, 4,729.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Uh-huh.
That's my retirement. So Zinc had to perpetuate. Remember, one of my goals is, so I keep a daily calendar. So today I have 4,729 days before I retire. So that's November 14th of 2032. Chris and Gralla, am I retiring?
Yes.
Okay, my people know it, everybody knows it, you guys know it, and so it came about, so there's no mystery on what's gonna happen. Next slide.
Right.
Hell no, we ain't selling out. So the buyers are in the room, we are selling to our employees, right? So that's why I told you guys at the last meeting, Chris and Gralla, I hope that they are the next owners of Zinc, and I hope you guys have a deep and meaningful relationship with them. We've gone through evaluation, so we hired the OIA to do our evaluation. We are not going to sell out, even though we get insane offers. We can make a lot of money doing that, but we're not going to do that. We're going through these model conversations now, so we've developed a kind of a future leadership team at Zinc, saying, hey, listen, you guys have demonstrated both from your performance, longevity, acumen, professionalism, like you guys are candidates to own this thing, and so let's start talking about this together. Viability and finance strategy, that's happening right now, and John, especially Warfel, has been helping me think through that. Like, what do I want out of this? What do I need? And meeting with Westfield Bank to talk about what Chris and Gerald and other people need to do to qualify to do that, since this is our strategy. Notice there's no children in there. We're selling to our employees. And then timeline and communication, we're working on that through Q1, and the goal will be at some point in 2020, we'll have partners identified and we'll start ceding ownership at some point to those people. And so perpetuation is happening at Zinc. So you can check the box if you're a carrier person. We're starting to move in that direction, which is super important for us. And so sales goal, we missed it. Sorry, we will do better. We kind of know why now. Internally, we crushed it. We hit our goal and that's helping us with cash flow. Marketing, huge impact on that retention and our ability to understand what we were doing wrong in 19 and what we want to do right in 20, so thank you for that. And perpetuation is underway at Zinc, so that's a wrap up of 2019. So let's go back to the problem, because I think the problem is, this is a problem for me, and this is a problem for every agent in here, and this is a problem for every carrier, because we can't make money this way. I can't stay in business this way. I can't do business this way, and you can't have me doing business this way. This is just unacceptable. We will not be in business as an industry if we don't fix this. So we're going to change the way we do commercial quoting, and I'm proud to say that we have a solution to that. So next slide. Tarmica. You may not have heard that term, but as a carrier, you should get to know this term, because there's a lot of things happening around that. We are going to start using a commercial rater. And the reason is I can't afford to do business the way you're asking me to do business. So I wanted to introduce you to our decision, and I want to show you where this decision goes, and I want to dignify you with the conversation on this. So I realize that this may not be, it is not in many of your business plans, or any of your business plans, but it can't not be in ours as agents, because you can see what it's costing us to do business. And so everybody in this room uses a personal lines rater. Why are we not using a commercial lines rater? That's what carriers should be asking themselves. And I guess I would ask the agents, if you could cut 11 days off the process Would that devalue your relationships with your carriers in any way whatsoever? What?
No.
But surely you're just gonna rate us and all our special relationship, the years of legacy, all of that stuff will go out the window and you're just gonna spreadsheet me, right?
No,
Why? Why?
this is a relationship business.
So what does a rater do for you then,
Speeds up the relationship with the client.
right? And so what you're gonna hear in this marketplace is there's a lot of people starting to play in this space. They're saying, hey, listen, Seth, well, frankly, we've never seen what you showed us, but yes, that's the case. We understand that small businesses and independent agents cannot spend 11 days to get a quote out, and we need to solve that problem. And there's players in this space that are doing it. We've gone through the industry and we've selected Tarmica at Zinc to be ours. We're building it into Neon. We'll talk about that. So every agent in this room will be using Tarmica to quote, and we're asking you to come with us. And so this is going to be a journey. We're going on together. Kumbaya. We can do it. And we'll help you with that, and we will make this as awesome for carriers as can be. And so we'll talk a little bit about that plan, but I wanted to introduce you to Tarmica, and I wanted to show you what a commercial rater is, and I wanted you to meet Raghav, who is the founder of Tarmica, and understand why it's so important that we selected him, and why it's so important that you guys adopt Tarmica. And I want to introduce Raghav.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll come up there.
please.
It's better up there. Chris, mind going back one slide real quick?
Sure.
So, the one thing that, first of all, I'm Raghav, so nice to meet you all.